Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your man the Grass Ninja. Welcome to the channel. In today's video we are focusing on Momoshiki Otsutsuki, one of the few characters that have still yet to make their debut into Blue Vortex. We got people like Sasuke yet to be seen, Amado yet to be seen, and Momoshiki yet to be seen. So let's talk about Momoshiki and how I may have discovered his end game, his grand plan. Momoshiki is trying to create a new body, something that he'll be able to live outside of Boruto. Literally insane. So let's talk about this real quick. When we talk about Momoshiki, right, we have to talk about Boruto. Since Momoshiki is anchored to Boruto through the Karma Seal, he sacrificed his resurrection, giving up that final 18% of karmic data, converting it into raw Otsutsuki flesh, making Boruto a 100% genuine Otsutsuki. So no longer can Momoshiki come back through Boruto's body. He is forever anchored to Boruto as a spirit. Now, Momoshiki is going to play the long game. I'm calling it right now. He is looking through the future. He has the future sight Shinjutsu, and he's trying to find a way to free himself from this burden that is being trapped within Boruto. So Momoshiki has to have a plan, and I'm believing, right, I've seen a little bit of foreshadowing here. He might be after Ada's Senreigan. I believe Momoshiki is going out of his way to forge a plan to steal Ada's eyes. Now let's talk about this real quick. Let's get everything out of the way. Let's understand what we're talking about. Why stealing the Senreigan would be in Momoshiki's best interest, okay? First off, obviously, Momoshiki has future sight, which means he can predict the future already, but stealing the Senreigan would grant him an all-seeing eye because he'd be able to use clairvoyance. Not only can he look towards the future, but now he has access to everything in the past. Ada's like 19 years old. Momoshiki is several thousands of years old. So he'd be able to look way deep into the past, try to figure out what actually happened to Shibai if possible. Or, let's just talk about that for a second. If he stole the Senreigan, that would mean Momoshiki would possess Shibai's powers, or even Shibai's chakra. Ada got her Senreigan due to experiments done to her by Amado. Amado experimented with Shibai's corpse, and he transplanted bits of his DNA into several cyborgs, which is how Code, Damon, and Ada have access to the Shinjutsus they have. Now, on top of that, it would appear that if he takes the Senreigan, he would be able to cast Omnipotence, which is huge. Okay, this is ridiculous. Now, Omnipotence, right? We have to break this one down because Omnipotence appears to be connected to the Senreigan, or at least Ada, as shown by the huge explosion caused by Kawaki and Ada when they used the ability, when they cast Omnipotence to rewrite the world's memories. There was a huge explosion, and the shockwave pattern resembled the crescent moon pattern of Ada's dojutsu. So there's a huge implication here that would suggest Ada's Senreigan is connected to using Omnipotence. Now, Momoshiki comments on Ada's inability to properly control the Shinjutsu of all Shinjutsu, Omnipotence. Since Ada isn't a pure-blooded Otsutsuki, she's not a true member of the clan, she does not have control over such a divine technique. Now, Momoshiki also explains that Omnipotence is far greater than some memory rewrite. This is a creation technique. This is an ability that was used to create worlds, described as the programming language of the gods. Now, here's where a little bit of the foreshadowing comes in, right? Because Ada talks about Omnipotence into Blue Vortex, how potent it actually is, how deep it actually goes, to the point where people eventually just accept the new reality, even if they did have questions and doubts about what was going on, like how Shikamaru and Sasuke questioned why Momoshiki was in Boruto, where Momoshiki went, right? that all becomes null and void. They accept the reality. But Ada comments that casting Omnipotence again could potentially benefit Sarada and their crew. They could rewrite new memories, but that comes with a high degree of risk since Ada doesn't have control over the ability. There's a good chance they could possibly make things even worse, which could be foreshadowing for the idea that Omnipotence will be used again, and it's probably not going to be used for good. Now, why would Momoshiki steal the Senrigan? It's in order to make himself a new body. So he's either going to steal the Senrigan out of Ida's eyes, or he's going to capture Ada and force her to use Omnipotence, similar to how Kawaki channeled his wish through Ada in order to create himself a new body, right? Now, before we jump into making him a new body, there's definitely obstacles Momoshiki would have to face before getting to Ada. Now, when we're talking about this, obviously, Ada is accompanied by Damon, right? And Damon's a huge threat because he's still stronger than Code. He's still apparently the strongest dude on the planet, and he has the craziest hacks of reflection shinjutsu. He can reflect people's intentions, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Sure, ordinarily, if this was back in Naruto Next Generations, when Boruto was a kid, Momoshiki in Boruto's body was stalemating with Kawaki, right? And we know Kawaki gets bodied by Damon. So even then, Momoshiki would probably stand no chance. But there are a couple things we have to point out in order to push this further. Damon's ability is a shinjutsu, and Momoshiki told us that he has knowledge of all of the shinjutsu, including Omnipotence, Reflection, the claw marks, everything. He has knowledge over all of them. Now, being able to use them is a different story, but knowing how they work, that's important, because if he can break down Damon's jutsu, he'll know how to avoid it, how to counteract it. Now, this is huge because over the past 3 years, Boruto has been training so hard that his base form is superior to Code with the Karma Seal. Code is someone who was stated to be stronger than Jigen, right? And we already saw what Jigen did to Naruto and Sasuke, people who beat Momoshiki in the past, and we already understand how much further in strength Momoshiki was when controlling Boruto versus Boruto wielding the Karma Seal without Momoshiki conscious. So there's a huge leap in power between Boruto with the Karma Seal active and Momoshiki controlling Boruto, right? So let's take this newfound base Boruto, capable of weaponizing nature energy, as he describes the Uzuhiko as weaponizing the planet's chakra and absorbing its rotation, right? Boruto in base form, fast enough to dodge and react to Code, strong enough to block Code's strikes, literally gets amped astronomically by the karma and possession of Momoshiki. Boruto's the one person we've seen this whole time avoid using the Karma Seal. Kawaki got pushed to the point where he needed Karma, and Code got pushed to a point where he activated Karma. And still, Boruto handles Code like it's nothing. Boruto talks down to Kawaki like he's some child, calling him unimportant, saying, "You're in my way. I'm too busy for you right now," sunning Kawaki. So Boruto's unfazed by Kawaki even after he's seen how far he's progressed with his dojutsu manifesting all 8 triangles. Boruto in base, unfazed by Kawaki. Imagine this planetary level Boruto, star level Boruto, however you want to scale him, definitely above Code, which means he's above Jigen level Boruto in base, gets possessed by Momoshiki, someone who has the knowledge of all shinjutsu and would know how to work around Damon's reflection. I don't know how strong Damon is exactly, but there is a challenger for #1 strongest man on the planet, and I think it's Momoshiki. Now, if Momoshiki can deal with Damon, send him to some other dimension, however he needs to work around the ability, that leaves Ada open. And if Boruto in Based is unfazed by Kawaki, that means Momoshiki, taking advantage of the nature energy of the planet, possibly even the other star systems and universes and dimensions Momoshiki has access to, because in the novelization, Momoshiki is stated to be able to draw power from his various dimensions, which house stars and planets. If Boruto can draw the energy of the Earth, and that skill is translated over to Momoshiki, you understand how strong of a character we're talking about now? We're talking about a huge leap in power for Boruto if Momoshiki's in control. Now, capturing Ada doesn't seem that hard anymore when we add all this together. We've seen how creative Momoshiki can be by taking Boruto's skill set and adding it into his own. That's how we got the Rasendan, which was a compression Rasengan fired like a projectile. Alright, the Rasen bullet. Imagine the Uzuhiko. Imagine all that Kenjutsu training that Sasuke put Boruto through. Imagine the ability to manifest and control nature energy added to Momoshiki. Insanely broken. Kawaki is not standing a chance, and I believe there's a way to suggest Kawaki hasn't been training as a shinobi. He's just been relying on his Otsutsuki powers, something Momoshiki already is familiar with and has mastered. Boruto just made his body hella strong. So if Ada gets captured, right, that means Momoshiki can use her as a conduit to cast Omnipotence, and if he uses Omnipotence, whether he steals her eyes or forces her to cast it, he might be able to create a brand new body. A brand new body for him to exist in, right? Now, this isn't even far-fetched. Amado's out here creating people. He's created Akabe, and he implemented a data aggregate of Akabe's karma in Kawaki. So, Kawaki is supposed to be able to create Akabe through the karma seal. We could see Momoshiki create himself through Omnipotence, right? This is huge, because if Momoshiki manifests in his true form after absorbing all the skills and knowledge and training that Boruto has given him, we have a brand new threat. Not to mention, this isn't a Momoshiki being created with Shibai's power with the Senreigan, right? Whether or not Boruto or Momoshiki steals the eyes out of Ada is irrelevant, because if he gets a new body, he'll be able to take those eyes after the fact. We know that Sasuke damaged his palm Rinnegan. Plug a Senreigan into that joint. Now he has access to everything in the past. He has foresight and future sight to see the future, and he's learned how to manipulate nature energy to the point where he could use the Uzuhiko on everybody. Who's to say Momoshiki wouldn't go that far? We know his end goal is to take over Boruto, but if Boruto's making steps in the direction to avoid using any Otsutsuki powers, which it definitely looks like, Momoshiki might have to create a new plan, his new master plan, to create himself a new body using the divine technique Omnipotence, literally the creation language of the gods. They create entire worlds. Who's to say he can't create a new body for himself and then just transfer his consciousness over? It's not that difficult. We don't know everything about the karma. We don't know everything about the Otsutsuki, but what we do know, Kishimoto loves ripping people's eyeballs out of their skulls, right? So Ada might have her eyes as the new target for Momoshiki, and if he has Omnipotence in his bag, he is a brand new threat. Now, let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you think Momoshiki has a new master plan to steal Ada or steal her eyes in order to create himself a new body using Omnipotence? Since he's forever anchored to Boruto through the karma, there's no freedom for Momoshiki, and Boruto's not at a level where he will let himself get taken over, and if he does get taken over, that's an astronomically stronger Momoshiki than we've ever seen before. So let me know what you guys are thinking. What's Momoshiki's endgame? What's his master plan? Alright, do you think he's stealing the Senreigan, or do you think Momoshiki will befriend Boruto similar to Kurama? I've been your man, the Grass Ninja, signing out. Peace.